So, hello students, good morning, and I hope your preparation is going well. And yes, today again I am here with some new important topics of 21st March. So, let's start our discussion. Here are today's important topics. So, first topic is related to the core sectors of Indian economy. Second topic is related to Mahar Satyagraha. So, 2026 will be the 99th year commemorating this Satyagraha. Third article is about the Navig, that is our IRNSS, Navigation with Indian Constellation. And UPSC has already asked question related to Navig. So today also we shall be discussing some important facts. Fourth topic is about the APEDA, that is the Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. So on this topic also UPSC has asked question. So now we will be discussing the PYQs also, which type of questions has been asked, so that you can line your preparation in that manner. Then a practice question and the places in news, two or three places which we all discuss every day. Okay, so let's start with the first topic, that is the core sectors of economy. Okay, so what is the context? See, the growth of eight core sectors have halved to around 2.3% in February, and this decline in growth was seen even before the oil crisis or gas crisis because of the West Asia conflict. So, see, overall, the article says that as we know that core sector refers to the most important industries in the economy. That's why we call them core, right? What is the meaning of core? The most important thing. So for the economy, core sectors are the most important industries which are important for the economy and are considered as the backbone of industrial growth. So in these core sectors, India tracks around, not around, India tracks eight core sectors through the index of eight core industries. And no, this include natural gas, crude oil, cement, electricity, etc., etc. And these sectors are very, why we call them important? Because they supply the important inputs to other industries, which have very good weightage in Indian economy. So that's why the study of core sectors is very important. Okay, so now in this case, as the article says, that the growth of these sectors have slowed down to around 2.3%. So this indicates the weakening industrial activity in India. And if see industrial activity, manufacturing activity is weakening, this is a case of concern for Indian economy. And since, as we know, that India is heavily dependent on imported energy, so that's why this thing is all the more important. Now let's discuss in brief the summary, what overall what news is discussing. So India's core sector growth has slowed down to around 2.3% as we already discussed. And as per the index of eight core industries, which is released by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So we shall be discussing about this index of eight core industries, but for time being, let's understand this. So, first thing, how we got this information? We got this information sectors. So, what are those eight sectors? So, they are coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, steel, cement, and electricity. So, these are the eight core sectors. Important thing here is these sectors contribute around 40% to the index of industrial production. So see, two kind of index now we are reading. First, we have read about index of eight core industries. Second index we have read about is index of industrial production. So we have to discuss about both these index for the prelims. Now, article talks about the sector's performance. So, for from exam point of view, it's not no important for you to remember that no which sectors has shown the growth or which sector is declining. It's not just for the discussion. So, for example, according to article, cement has shown the highest growth, and refinery products it is declining because of the oil and natural gas crisis. For example, the growth of fertilizer sector is slowing, etc., etc. Now, coming to the points for the prelims. So about the index of eight core industries. So what is very important thing to remember here is that who releases it? It is released by Ministry of Industry and Commerce. Very, very important thing. Now these are the eight core sectors which we have already discussed. Now, I was talking about the mnemonic so that you can easily remember it. So, mnemonic is simple. It's the cool cats cook nice rice for strong energy. Okay, so this is your mnemonic. Cool cats cook nice rice for strong energy. So you can make your own mnemonic. So see, coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery products, fertilizers, cement, steel, and electricity. So now we have covered all the eight sectors. So in this way, you can remember. So cool cats cook nice rice for strong energy. So it is related to rice. Anything you can relate it, you can make your own mnemonic also. So yes, and what were the importance? So these sectors have around 40% weight in the IIP. We have already discussed it. Now, some of the important points related to IIP, that is Index of Industrial Production. So please don't confuse in these index. They are released by different bodies. They come under different ministry and they are different also. So first important thing here is, see, I think we have discussed it, no? Okay, yes. So important thing here is that it is a monthly index. So it's not annual, it's a monthly index. And what is its objective? It measures the short-term changes in industrial output. Why short-term? Since it is short-term, that's why it's monthly. Second important thing here is that IIP covers broad three sectors. What are those three sectors? They are manufacturing, mining, and electricity. So first, this thing is important. So first sector is manufacturing, second is mining, and third is electricity. So what are three broad sectors under index of industrial production? Manufacturing, mining, and third is electricity. Now, in these broad sectors also we can categorize other sectors. So, what are those sectors? These are the eight sectors in which we can categorize all the eight sectors. And you have to know the weightage also of all these sectors in index of industrial production. UPSC can ask this. First, UPSC can ask about the weightage of overall sectors. So, which sector has the highest weightage? It is the manufacturing. Which has the lowest weightage? It is electricity. Now, who publishes this IIP? So it is published by CSO under MOSP, that is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And what about eight core industries? It was released by Ministry of Commerce. So eight core industries, Ministry of Commerce, Index of Industrial Production, MOSP, that is Ministry of Statistics. And it is compiled and published every month, as we have already discussed it. Now, another important thing is about the base year. So its base year is 2011-12. So I think when we were discussing article about consumer price index CPI, so there we have discussed about the change in base year, right? So what the year which we take it as base year, we write equal to 100, right? So here also you might read in some of the articles equal to 100. So this is the meaning of that. The year which is base year, we write equal to 100. Now yes, these were the things. These were the sectors under those broad three sectors. So what are those sectors? We learned them through mnemonic. Now, important thing to note here is we have to discuss about the weightage, that which sector has the highest weightage. Okay, so here refinery products have the highest weightage, after that electricity, after that steel, and which sector has the lowest weightage? So it is the fertilizers. Before fertilizers, we have cement. So in this way, you can, even if you don't remember the percentage for the weightage, at least you must remember that which sector has the highest weightage. So here refinery products have the highest weightage. It's 28%. And fertilizer sector have the lowest weightage, so it's around 2.7%. So these are some of the important things from prelims point of view. Now, a very important topic from modern history point of view. Because no, in UPSC prelims also UPSC asks various modern history questions or to arrange the events in chronological order. So what for all those things, this article is important. So what is the topic? It's about Mahar Satyagrah and why this Satyagrah is important for this year. So this year 2026, in this 2026, it marks 99th anniversary of Mahar Satyagraha and it's the beginning of the 100th year. So in 2027, we'll be celebrating the 100th year for Mahar Satyagraha. So first of all, see, nothing to discuss about the context. We have to discuss some of the points from prelims point of view. Okay, so first of all, about the Mahar Satyagraha. So, first thing, Mahar Satyagraha is also known as Chavdar Tale Satyagraha. So, either Mahar Satyagraha or Chavdar Tale Satyagraha. Why Chavdar Tale? See, it's a lake. So, no, it took place near a lake. That's why we call it by this name. And who led it? Who was the important personality? It was B.R. Ambedkar on 20th March 1927. So, yesterday was 20th March. That's why we are celebrating 99th anniversary of this Satyagraha. Okay, so see, actually UPSC has asked various questions related to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That's why maybe a question related to Mahar Satyagraha can also be asked. So first thing about name of this lake, second thing about the personality, so Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Third important thing is about the date, so that is 20th March 1927. Now, what was the main objective or what was the main aim? So main aim was to assert the right of untouchables to use the water from a public tank because in those times untouchables were not allowed to use the water from the public tank. This was the main issue. Now let's understand the background briefly. What all happened? Why Dr. Ambedkar was forced to launch this movement? What was the background? See, what happened? No, untouchables, so-called untouchables, or what we call them as Dalits, they were segregated in Indian society, and they were banned from using public water bodies and roads used by the so-called upper caste Hindus. So now, what happened in August 1923, the Bombay Legislative Council passed a resolution which allowed depressed classes to use the government maintained places, but it faced opposition from several upper caste Hindus. So, what happened in 1923? A resolution was passed to rectify all these issues, but it faced opposition. Now, what happened in 1924? Mahad passed a resolution in its municipal council. So, Mahad is a place. So, under its municipal council, Mahad passed a resolution to enforce the act, but it failed to implement it because of the protest from the upper caste Hindus. This was the main background. Okay, so now what happened because of all these failures in 1923 and then in 1924, after all these failures, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar took an important step. So what he did in 1927, B.R. Ambedkar launched a satyagraha to assert untouchables' right to use water in the public places. So now he has launched a full-fledged movement. So what happened here? See, why Mahad was chosen? It was chosen for the event because in Mahad there was support from some of the people from Hindu caste. That's why Mahad was chosen so that people can easily unite. Now here name of this person is very important, known as Surendranath Tipnis. So he was the president of the Mahad municipality, and because of him only all these things could happen. So he invited Ambedkar to hold a meeting there. Now, what was the first thing what B.R. Ambedkar did? He drank water from the tank, and after his this action was followed by the other thousand of untouchables. What other things he did? He encouraged Dalit women to abandon the customs of untouchability. So what he did, no, he encouraged Dalit women to wear saris like the upper caste women. See, in earlier times, what happened, no, in many areas, especially in the Konkan region of Maharashtra, Dalit women were forced to drape saris in a way that exposed their knees and thighs part. So in this way, no, people can easily differentiate. Okay, she belongs to untouchable caste and she belongs to higher caste. So in this way, there were some differences in the dressing pattern so that people can be easily segregated in a society. So what happened during Mahar Satyagraha? No, B.R. Ambedkar encouraged women to wear saris like the upper caste women. After that, a riot erupted over the rumors of Ambedkar planning to enter a Hindu temple. So all these things were happening. And what happened finally? In on 25th December 1937, Bombay High Court ruled that untouchables have the right to use water from the water tank. But when all these things started, these all things started in 1927. So that's why whenever you discuss about Mahar Satyagraha, about the date or year of Mahar Satyagraha, so 1927 year will be important. So all these things happened in Satyagraha. Now, this is a very, very important thing. Here we are comparing the Mahar Satyagraha, which was led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and Salt Satyagraha, which was led by Mahatma Gandhi. So first of all, we will discuss the nature of the oppressor. So nature of the oppressor, what we will discuss. So here, under the salt satyagraha, Gandhiji used one commodity that was salt. Okay, and Gandhiji used salt against British imperialism, right? So what was the nature of oppressor? Who was here oppressor? Oppressor was Britishers. So what the people were facing problem under British imperialism. But under Mahar Satyagraha, what commodity was used? It was water. And against what? It was against the internal colonizer. Internal colonizer means the people of India. So against the social imperialism. So the Salt Satyagraha was against the British imperialism. And the Mahar Satyagraha was against the social imperialism. After that, a second point is about the symbolism of resources. Symbolism means, see, Gandhiji used salt and B.R. Ambedkar used water. So both leaders tried to use the very basic element for human survival because salt and water both are very basic elements. So what Gandhiji wanted to demonstrate, he wanted to demonstrate that if you are denying people salt, then it is violating their natural right. But what B.R. Ambedkar wanted to demonstrate is if you are denying water to people, then it is the violation of their humanity itself, human rights, right? So, Gandhiji mainly focused on natural rights and Ambedkar mainly focused on the human rights, that is humanity. Third is the concept of Swaraj. So here also there were some differences. So for Ambedkar, uh, the water march was a kind of a political freedom for the people. So it was kind of Swaraj. Okay, so it was the concept of Swaraj for the Ambedkar. And yes, we discussed this. Okay, yes. So according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, even if India was free from Britishers and if India is still under the social imperialism, then there is no meaning of that independence. So this was the concept of Swaraj for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Now about the depth of reform. So depth of reform means what were the demands of Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So according to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the fundamental change in social attitudes and caste system was very important for the overall freedom of India. But under the salt satyagraha, the main focus was on the oppressive colonial laws. So here, under Mahar Satyagraha, the main focus was the social attitudes, and under Salt Satyagraha, the main focus was the oppressive colonial laws. So I think yes, these were the main important things which we wanted to discuss. Next article is related to Navik, that is navigation with Indian constellation. So here the context is that this navigation system of India is under the operational distress. So we shall be discussing important things related to this. That what is the reason for distress, what are the important prelims related points, etc. So see, as we know that Navik is India's own navigation system, like the GPS, the GLONASS, etc., etc. These are related to other countries. Navik is the India's own navigation system. Now, as we know that NAVIC is developed by ISRO, and what was the main reason? It was to ensure that India is now not dependent on other countries for navigation. Especially, this step was taken after Kargil War, because after Kargil War, US, who is handling GPS, US denied the GPS data to India. So after that, India thought that India must have its own navigation system. Now, how Navig works? So it works using different kind of satellites, different number of satellites that continuously send signals to the devices on Earth, and based on this, the precise location of any object can be traced. So now, for this Navig system to work properly, we need for this system to work properly, we need at least four satellites to be active all the times, at least. Because see, Navik have in total seven satellites. So out of these seven, at least four satellites have to be active all the time. Now, here the main issue comes. Currently, the system is facing problem because many satellites have failed mainly due to the issues like the atomic clocks, which are critical for providing the accurate timing. So we will discuss what atomic clocks are. Now we are discussing the reason that why a Navic system is under crisis. So the system is under crisis because there are various issues related to atomic clocks. And atomic clocks are one of the important things which helps the constellation, which helps the navigation system to trace the exact location of any object on the Earth. So without if the systems don't have accurate timing, and as you know that distance is equal to velocity into time, and if any system does not have the accurate timing, then accurate location cannot be traced. So right now only three satellites are in working system, so the system cannot be said to be fully functional. That now you might ask that why four satellites are important, why it cannot work by three satellites. So we shall be discussing this. So now at present, please know that for Navik to work properly, we need at least four systems, and at present, only three satellites are in very good mode. Now, thing is, ISRO is trying to fix this by launching new satellites, by providing the indigenous atomic clocks, etc., etc. But the problem is the budget constraints. ISRO has the budget constraint. Second important thing is here, ISRO manages each and everything, the designing also, the launch also, the budget also, etc., etc. So there is no separate body in India like we have for European Union or USA. So that's why also ISRO is overburdened and ISRO is not able to focus on each and everything. So this is the main gist of the overall article. Okay, so now let's focus on the important points given in the summary. So first, NAVIC, that is navigation with Indian constellation. It is developed by ISRO, and article is saying it's facing the operational issues in India. So why this need of NAVIC? Because after Kargil war, US denied GPS data to India. That's why we thought we must have our own indigenous navigation system. So a minimum of four satellites are required for Navik to work properly, but currently only three satellites are there. What are the major issues? About the atomic clocks, we already discussed failure of rubidium atomic clocks. This is the main important thing. And earlier imported, now they are replaced by the indigenous clocks. So earlier these atomic clocks India was importing, but now India is sending the indigenous atomic clocks. So in those clocks also we are facing significant problem. Now, what the other issues ISRO was facing? First important thing is about the absence of national space law. Since we don't have a dedicated space law, that's why we cannot fix anything related to governance, related to design, implementation. So everything is going in very vague manner. So this is important issue. Second is, as we discussed, that ISRO handles the design also, operation also, and it is facing the budget constraints also. So because of this overburdening thing, ISRO is not able to focus on any particular very important thing. So these are the important institutional and structural issues. And as we already discussed, that in India, ISRO is managing everything, but in other countries like USA and Europe, there are some very dedicated agencies just for the navigation system. For example, the GPS Directorate in USA. This was the summary. Now let's discuss briefly the prelims related important points. So you might be having very important questions like why do we need four satellites only, and how this navigation system work, how any object location of any object has been can be traced on Earth. So we shall be discussing this in brief. First of all, important points about the NAVIC. So NAVIC is also known as Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, that is IRNSS, and it is developed by ISRO. Since when it is operational? 2018. Now it covers India and region up to 1500 kilometers beyond Indian borders. So if this is territory of India, so around up to 1500 kilometers, it can cover the entire region beyond Indian borders. And this is very important. What are the number of satellites here? Okay, so here the number of satellites is 7. So it has in total 7 satellites, and these satellites are located at around 36,000 kilometers. So this is the distance of geostationary orbit. Now, out of these 7 satellites, 4 satellites are located in geosynchronous orbit, and 3 satellites here geosynchronous, and 3 satellites are located in geostationary orbit. What is the difference between geosynchronous and geostationary? See, the distance of all these satellites from Earth is around 3600 kilometer only. But the main difference is, for example, this is Earth and this is equator. So this satellite will orbit just above the equator only. So the satellite which orbit just above the equator at a distance of around 3600 kilometer. At a distance of 36,000 kilometers, so that satellite we call as geostationary. But what about geosynchronous? So geosynchronous orbit can be anywhere. So this is also geosynchronous, this is also geosynchronous, and geostationary is also a type of geosynchronous where the satellite revolves just above the equator. So this is the main difference. And which launch vehicle was used to take the satellites to the orbit? So it was Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Now let's discuss briefly the difference between the NAVIC and GPS. So first of all, which is, it is developed by, so NAVIC is developed by ISRO, as we know, and GPS, which overall countries use, so it is the United States Department. Now coverage for NAVIC, we already discussed that coverage is 1500 kilometers beyond Indian borders. And but for GPS, it's the global coverage. So for NAVIC, we can say it's the regional coverage. For GPS, we can say it's the global coverage. Now the constellation size. That means the number of satellites which this system is handling. So 7 satellites. Out of 7 satellites, 4 are in geosynchronous and 3 in geostationary. And if we talk about the global positioning system, so it has very large number of satellites. So at present, it has around 31 operational satellites. If we talk about the accuracy, so accuracy for NAVIC is around 5 meters over India and nearby regions. What is the meaning of accuracy? For example, if on GPS your location it's showing here, so it can be anywhere in the 5 meter radius. Okay, so in this radius of 5 meters, you can be present anywhere. So just a second. Okay, so you can be present anywhere here in the radius of 5 meters. This is the meaning of accuracy. So for NAVIC, accuracy is around 5 meters. For GPS, it's around 20 meters, which is globally. Now, NAVIC uses what frequency bands NAVIC use? So for NAVIC, it's L5 and S band, and for GPS, it's L1, L2, and L5 bands. See, if I explain about all these frequency bands, it will take a lot of time. So maybe I will explain it in the separate video. For now, just remember because it can be directly asked in the exam. So what frequency bands NAVIC use? It's the L5 and S. And what about GPS? So it's L1, L2, and L5. Now, primary purpose for the NAVIC, so regional navigation, it provides navigation for the civilian and military purposes. And for GPS, since it's global, so it's for civilian also, commercial, military, etc., etc. Now, let's understand how do navigation system work. See, now, as we know that many satellites are always revolving around the Earth, right? For example, this is Earth, so various satellites are always revolving around the Earth. Now, all these satellites will continuously be sending signals on the device which are located on Earth. So, for example, this is your mobile phone, and these satellites are continuously sending signals on your mobile phone, which is GPS enabled, or your car GPS. Now, any of the device that is your mobile phone or car will receive signal from at least four satellites. Okay, so we were discussing no that for NAVIC to function efficiently, we need at least four satellites. So now we will be understanding why those four satellites are important. So now this device will receive the signals from the four satellites. Now, what will be the function of this? So the receiver which is inside your phone, it will measure the time delay between when a signal was sent by the satellite and when your device received it. So, for example, the signal started from here and it reached your device. So, first of all, your device will measure that time delay, that in what time the signal came from satellite to your device. Now, as we know, a simple formula that if we want to calculate distance, then distance is equal to speed into time. So, say these devices are calculating the time of the traveling of signal. So we have this time. Now, what the receiver in our devices will do? It will multiply the speed of light with the time, and it will calculate the distance of the satellite from our receiver. So the each distance measurement places the user somewhere on the surface of the imaginary sphere centered around that satellite. See, I will explain. For example, yes, it's visible now. Okay. So for example, you are located somewhere here. We'll change the color. Yes, you are located somewhere here. And the receiver in your device has calculated your distance from this satellite. So for example, this was that distance. Now I'm talking about just one satellite at present. So what will happen here? No, see, for example, I am taking this distance as a radius, and using this distance as a radius, I am creating a sphere. So here in picture it can be seen in 2D, but actually using that radius, I am creating a sphere, just like a ball, not like a circle. So for example, this is a sphere. Okay. Now, when I am talking about any one satellite, so for example, I using this distance, I have created a sphere. So now I can be located anywhere on this sphere. Now, if I talk about the second satellite, for example, this is the second satellite. If I talk about this satellite, so here also the receiver in my device will calculate the distance of the receiver from this satellite, and this is the second radius what we got. So using this radius also, I am trying to create a second sphere. It's sphere, not circle. So it's in 3D. So here I have created a second sphere. So now this is the intersection of these two spheres. This is the sphere 1, this is the sphere 2. So this is the intersection. So in 2D, you can see it as a point of intersection. But when you see in 3D, no, so this intersection will look like a circle. So this is the intersection of two spheres. Now, if I introduce a third satellite here, so if a third satellite I introduce, no, then the intersection the intersection narrows to 2 points. So, for example, this is the third satellite, this is the radius, and now I am creating a third sphere here. So now, when all these three spheres intersect, no, so the point of interaction will look something like this. So these are the 2 points which are the intersection of three spheres. So when we are increasing the number of spheres, no, then the location narrows down to two locations. So now easily you can say that at least one of those two locations is present on the Earth. So in this way, we calculate the location of any object. Satellite is the time correction. Fourth satellite is used to correct timing errors in the receiver's less accurate clock. Because as we discussed that in all these satellites, atomic clock is used, and atomic clock is very, very precise. But in the receiver device, for example, in our mobile phones, we use very normal clock. So there will be the timing errors. That's why fourth satellite is used to correct the timing errors in the less accurate clocks in our devices. So this is the use of fourth satellite. Okay. So I think you might have understood all these things that no, what is the use of these satellites, how the intersection of three spheres will create the two intersection points, and how we are using this formula distance equal to speed into time. You don't need to go in very detail, but at least you must have an idea about this. Now, let's discuss briefly about the atomic clocks. So, why are atomic clocks used in GPS and other navigation satellite systems? So see, first important thing is that atomic clocks are very, very accurate clocks, timekeeping devices, and they measure time based on the oscillation of atoms. So atom it can be of any element, right? So what atoms are involved here? Atoms are of cesium or rubidium. So these two elements are used for the atomic clock. Now, about the rubidium and cesium. So, see, rubidium clocks are smaller and less costly, but the cesium clocks are more accurate. But so, which type of element is used in Navig satellites? So, they are the rubidium clocks, which are smaller and less costly. So, let's discuss some of the advantages of atomic clocks. So, first of all, their accuracy only. We already discussed. So, atomic clock can keep time within a few billionth of seconds per day. So, it is very, very accurate. So, that's why these are some of the important things that it is very precise. An error of only 1 second in up to 100 million years. So, these are the important things related to atomic clocks. Now let's discuss PYQ. So in 2018, UPSC has asked this question about the Navic system. So first question was about the number of satellites only, that it has 3 satellites in geostationary and 4 satellites in geosynchronous. After that, it was asking the range. So here in question, it was given 5,500 kilometers. So this range is also wrong. So UPSC asked these type of questions. That's why, first of all, focus on PYQs. They will give you an idea that what type of questions are being asked. Now, next important article is related to APEDA, that is Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. So, what is the context here? See, the Standing Parliamentary Committee has recommended the government that budgetary approval or budgetary allocation for APEDA must be increased because it has various important responsibilities. Okay. So, see, I will discuss briefly what article is saying. So, see, APETA is an important organization which comes under the Ministry of Commerce. So, it comes under Ministry of Commerce, and it helps India export agricultural products like the fruit, vegetables, etc., etc. Now, for exporting to foreign countries, products must meet the quality and safety standards. We know that. So, to ensure this, APETA has created digital systems. For example, GrapeNet. So GrapeNet is for the grapes. So it has created various important systems like GrapeNet, and it will track the journey of product from the farmers to the exporters. So in this way, APEDA can easily ensure the quality and safety standards. So this is the important thing what APEDA is doing. So that's why Parliamentary Committee has suggested that you must provide more funds to APEDA, otherwise these functions can be compromised. So just some of the important points from prelims point of view. So first is important thing is APEDA is a statutory body and under which ministry it comes under the Ministry of Commerce, and which act established that. So it is the APEDA Act only of 1985. So this year is also very important. What is the main function of APEDA? So its main function is the agricultural export promotion in India, fruits, vegetables, processed food, etc., etc. So yes, these are the important things. And what is the objective? To develop and promote the export of scheduled products. So first of all, you must know the meaning of scheduled products. So the products which are specified under APEDA Act. So this act we discussed, no, under this act, various kind of products are mentioned. So those products are called scheduled products. So its objective is to develop and promote the scheduled products, the exports of such products, etc., etc. Now, what other things it do? It provides financial assistance, information guidelines for all these scheduled products. Here, very, very important thing is APEDA serves as the secretariat to National Accreditation Board. This is very, very important thing because it has been already asked in UPSC, and it plays crucial role in the accrediting certification bodies for National Program for Organic Production. So this is important role for the National Program for Organic Production. Now, organic products for the exports are to be certified only if produced, processed, and packed as per the standards laid down by the NPOP. So, first important thing, APEDA serves as the Secretariat for National Accreditation Board. Accreditation Board for what? For the organic products. So, this is important thing. And where are the headquarters? So, they are located in New Delhi. Now, in 2018 itself, question on APEDA was also asked. So, first, what was the important thing? The National Program for Organic Production is operated under guidelines and direction of Union Ministry of Rural Development. So, about this National Program for Organic Production, we already discussed. The second statement is about the APEDA. It functions as the secretariat for the implementation of NPOP. So, just now we discussed. So, see, these kind of questions are being asked in UPSC. Now, a practice question for you. So first question is about the core sectors which we discussed. So consider the following statements: coal, steel, textile, and electricity. So now you have to tell me which of the above are included in the index of 8 core industries. So if you are focused on that mnemonic what we discussed, you can easily answer this question. After that is about the modern history. So here I have given 4 events. First is Mahar Satyagrah. Second is non-cooperation movement. Third is civil disobedience movement. Fourth is Quit India movement. So now you have to arrange them in chronological order and give me answer in the comment section. Okay. So these are the two places in news which you have to look for. You have to look for the location on the map and you have to read the prelims related facts. So today you have to look for the Gulf of Alat, and second you have to look for Sea of Galilee. And if you find very interesting point, then write that point in the comment section so that other students can also know it. Now, yes, these were the places which I have given on 19th of March. The first was the Pugad Island. Pugad Island is located in Philippines. And why this island was in news? It is facing the rapid deforestation problem. So that's why this island was in news. Now, second place was the Bukavu. So, Bukavu is located in Democratic Republic of Congo, and at present, this place is facing the rebellion movement. That's why it was in news. So, I think what all places every day I'm giving. I hope you are looking for all those places you are needing for this, because in this way you can prepare for prelims in an interesting manner. So, I think yes, that's all from my side. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Uh, And yes, that's all for today. Thank you.